Now, I have a few notes here. So but I'm going to go through. Do you mind? Can I give you some of my highlights? Technically, we're a few minutes over, but not that long, not long, and they'll keep the drinks out there. Let me tell you a few quick things. Let me give you some few lessons from the masters from your meeting today, just very quickly. First of all, we learned a little bit from Corey earlier on today. Don't let anyone cancel insurance without a visit. It's really your duty to do that. And I think that's the kind of thing you want to remember. He also said something important too, which was there are two kinds of sales, the easy ones and the ones that you don't get. And I think we have to keep that reminding ourselves all the time. And that kind of goes to Ted's point, really, that you don't try to win converts. You find the people that think like you do. Jamie Bongard talked about some great things. If you sell right and professionally the first time, you will become a friend the second time. And man, is that ever a great lesson for all of us. If you want to help people, he said, you'll understand rejection differently, and it won't bother you quite so much. It'll still bother you, but just not quite so much. And it's good to know when you're there to help, they can take it or they don't. You know, he said you can make excuses, Jamie did, or you can make money. You can't do both. I love the idea, and why not be their family's life insurance advisor? He also had a bunch of crazy ideas, and the most important one of those that I think we got to remember, he said, put away 1 year's income. I only wish people would do much more of that, including myself. Susan Creasy, a great personal story, the day she became her own client. You know, and I love the idea that the financial security, that life insurance provides the financial security to help your family heal, and how grief counseling can actually be a real need on a capital needs analysis. Using a fact finder, a Granum fact finder, to drive references, getting names to help settle the estate, names you can get off those things, great stuff. How about client events that anyone can attend? Just bring a friend, an idea we haven't heard often before. Build trust, she said, by proving to others that you take as much care with your own finances, with their finances as you would with your own. Important stuff. Brad Brain, the guy never run out of money, man. I love that idea, super idea. Clients and prospects don't speak like we do. He said, be careful how you choose your language. Such an important thing for all of us to know. I also love the idea of how he was using kind of money thinking to sell life insurance. And not only that, but the idea of looking at somebody's Facebook page and saying, hey, you know, does all of that stuff really matter to you? What a cool idea. The good old days of life insurance was something that Sonny Goldstein talked about. And it's funny, just ask you this question about Sonny's stuff. Just think about this. You know, the good old days of licensing, did you know replacement was bad, that there's no rebating, you can't pay money to people to buy insurance, and you have to treat people properly, honestly, and fairly. And you know, we all laughed about that. That's all there is. Really, what else is there? It's interesting, if we'd only do that, that wouldn't be so bad either. Not a bad deal. Frank Crean, now into his 87th year. Man, how about so many ideas? Talking about life insurance as an opportunity fund. How cool. He said something else that I remind advisors of periodically, and they're going, I never thought of that. He said, the prospects and the next appointment are always set in each meeting. What a cool thing. He said people also don't buy cash value life insurance. They buy it because they understand it. They buy it because we understand it and they trust us. Absolutely. And if you want to know how to get things done, just like Frank does, you remember this. You know, you've got requirements. You then have to have the disciplines to create the routines. Man, there's a great lesson there. Requirements, disciplines, and routines. Unbelievable stuff. Rohini Kapoor talked about dealing profitably with rejection. How important is that to all of us? And be simple. Simplicity is key. Don't complicate life and your business, and just do it step by step. Shenglin Zhan, interesting stuff about presenting to clients, how you educate them on ordering their financial life because they don't really know what they need to do. Interesting thing, how important is placing of business today? He said, review your presentation to reinforce the reasons they bought their life insurance. Great lesson because we have a habit of forgetting. And of course, servicing is your best time to do prospecting and make sure your knowledge is above your peers. Very cool stuff. Edgar D'Souza, you know, I love the line, I've used it many times as a manager myself, you know, you could only quit when you're up. And that was a line that we used many, many years, many, many times. And I'd say, look, if you want to quit, make a sale, come on in, we'll talk. And I think that's a great thing. Survival, he said, was the key to success. I think it's a 4-letter word, L-A-S-T, and you get an awful long way. How about that line from Ben Feldman? If I write you a check for the value of your life insurance, would you work for me for the rest of your life? Interesting. That's kind of the deal you cut for your spouse, and if you don't do it otherwise. And I love the line too. If your death doesn't create a loss for someone or something, you should re-examine your life. Mike Kidney, I'm a professional life insurance advisor, proudly, with great honor. What a tremendous way of expressing yourself in this business today, and we can still do it, and he does that. I'm also surprised to know there were 680 moose vehicle accidents in Newfoundland. That's how that goes, just the way it is. How about delivering the check? Do you get a chance? Have you delivered the check? Amazed at how many people don't. How many people don't deliver the check? They send the video. They just send the check. They just hope that people figure it out the hard way. And then I love the line at the end, Mike. It was perfect. Life insurance is more than financial planning. I've always added to that, it guarantees financial planning. Cool stuff. Aviva Huberman, out of her deathbed, over here to talk to us today. What could be shameful, she said, about a product that adds so much value to a family and to future generations of it? What could be shameful? And yet here we are. I'm embarrassed to say I'm a life insurance agent. We all probably did that. Some of us never have. Some of us are afraid of that to this very day. And why wouldn't they come to see me, she said? Potentially one of the most important people in their lives. And if they come, she says, of course, they're halfway to signing the app. Just ask, she said. How many times did people say today, just ask? If you wanted something, just ask. It's all it took. Or this line, are you the owner of an insurance plan or the member or a member of an insurance plan? Great line. Rob Crowder, know your target market. Be sure it's successful. Be the expert in it. Don't just stab around and say anything. Just troll around in the ocean, see what you can come up with. You usually get rocks. Do the right thing. Know your target market. Successful business owners like to sell with passion, and they like to be sold with passion. Boy, you got to sense that Rob can do that too. How about doing the 15 things to get the 310-minute appointments you need every year? Here's a guy, 26 years in the business, still doing 300 appointments every year for 26 years. I love the line too. 5 of those 15 or half of the 15 things he does do not work. He's sure of that. Just not sure which 5 or which half. So you have to do them all. You just have to. Rob Gothrop, the trouble with average mortality is a cool thing. I listened to him, I wrote part of it down. But it's a cool thing, average mortality. Really, half don't make it there, don't get that far. Half don't make it there. Those people need life insurance. The other half live longer. Well, those folks need longevity insurance, kind of annuities, that kind of thing. Most clients don't understand or realize, he said, that they can buy a pension, an annuity, and that mortality credits story was just extraordinary. What a great line to use all the way through. Understanding mortality risk, no investment, no interest rate, but still a big return on your money. That's all you need right there. There's worth the whole day just in a line like that. And he said the business is not about knowledge anymore. It's all about stories and helping people connect to what they need to know. You've heard that from every speaker today, the stories they told and what they do. And you see, some are good and some are gooder, is the way it goes. But they're all great in terms of their performance and their protection. You see, there's not one kind of advisor today you saw that does the job great. And we had a great guy at the very end, and he said some great things. Ted's line, will my success be shaved by my circumstances? Will my circumstances win, or will they be shaped by my character? Will I take control? Will I take charge of that? Climbing up the ladder is one thing. Climbing out of a very deep hole is something different. Really, the difference between wanting to be better and just being bitter. Your life does follow your thoughts, Ted. Ted's exactly right. Everybody makes choices for himself that he said that they would never make for others. And it's interesting how that happens to all of us. And then, of course, his fast track back, all these ideas, those 8 different ideas that he had at the end, were extraordinary, all of which were great. I think we were blessed with an extraordinary day today at the Canada Sales Congress 2015.